It is a big week for tech. Apple held its second event of the fall today, unveiling a list of new MacBook Pros, AirPods, and more. Roger Cheng with CNet is joining us now to explain Apple's newest products and what's coming up from other big companies. Thank you for joining us right now. Apple just had an event last month. How was today's any different?
As you said, this was an event about Macs and music. So they introduced several new MacBook Pros, or two new MacBook Pros, AirPods, a new third generation AirPods, as well as a new plan for Apple Music. So far tighter than last month's presentation, which was all about the iPhone, obviously the biggest deal of the year. But I wouldn't sell these products short. The AirPods in particular have proven to be extremely successful, and I imagine there'll be a lot of folks eager to upgrade to these new versions.
You mentioned something about Apple Music. What's the change that they're putting out there?
So they have introduced a new plan, and we're still trying to figure this out. But it's a $5 plan called Apple Music with Siri, and essentially you use Siri to control what songs you want to play. And so we still need to get a bit more details on how this works. Obviously, there's some limitations versus the sort of more standard $10 a month plan, which gives you sort of all the music you listen to. But it's an option out there. Amazon has a similar one that's a similarly priced music plan that only works with Echo speakers. So something similar to that.
Okay, okay. Were there any disappointments for consumers today?
I wouldn't say disappointments. Actually, for folks who are looking for a new MacBook Pro, I think Apple gave them everything they wanted. There was a laundry list of features that people have been asking for, things like SD card slots, HDMI ports, all these little things that add up to a much more fuller experience with MacBook Pro. And Apple really added a bunch of them back on after years of sort of cutting back and reducing the number of ports on the MacBook Pro. They went and basically gave a bunch back, and I think a lot of folks are going to be very pleased with it. I mean, obviously it's expensive. The MacBook Pro 14 starts at $2,000, so you are paying for what you get. But I think for folks particularly who are heavy power users, they're going to like what they see with the new MacBook Pros.
Do you think that was the product that got the biggest spotlight, or was the AirPods more their bread and butter today?
They spent most of the time on the MacBook Pros. They were redesigned. They had a bunch of new features on them. I would say from a sales or volume perspective, I think the AirPods are going to be the ones that sell the most, just because they're at $179. It's definitely a more logical Christmas gift or holiday gift than, say, a $2,000 MacBook Pro. But I know Apple will want the spotlight to shine on their new laptops for sure.
And those laptops, they didn't bring back the DVD or CD slot, did they?
No, that would be amazing, though.
Right?
Just as a throwback. Just, hey, we're playing CDs, we're playing 8-tracks. Let's do that too.
I
But
remember
unfortunately not.
Yeah, I remember getting my first MacBook without the DVD CD slot, and I was trying to watch a movie on the airplane and was so upset that it wasn't there anymore. I hadn't even realized it, and I guess that's going to be wishful thinking for someone like me. I know that Samsung and Google are gearing up for their events later this week as well. How do you see them competing against Apple?
Yeah, so Apple traditionally holds its events on Tuesday, and it was interesting that they moved it to Monday to accommodate Google, which is sort of set its stakes down pretty early for its Pixel 6 launch. Google, as big a name as it is, its phone, the Pixel phones, tend to not do super well. I think for a lot of tech enthusiasts, they love to see what's the latest and greatest from Apple. It's usually a showcase for what you can do with an Android phone, but realistically, people don't buy these phones that often. So, they'll make a splash with the Pixel 6. We've seen a lot of the details already: a bigger camera or better camera, like a strip across the back. That's what that houses the camera. And so we'll see. But traditionally, again, these phones don't tend to sell as well. So it'll be an uphill climb for Google to make the kind of splash that Apple did today.
Definitely. Do you think that there's anything else that might come out of the Google and Samsung announcements this week, or is it just the phone? You think?
We'll see with Samsung. We'll see with Google. I mean, there's always the rumors of their own AirPod-like products, those earbuds. So they might have something as well. Samsung, I wouldn't necessarily have high hopes. I think that they've had a number of product events this year. I believe this is like the third or fourth. So we'll see what they have, but I'm going in with some tempered expectations.
All right. Well, Roger, thank you for joining us and breaking down for us everything that's happening in the tech world when it comes to their new products. Appreciate your time today. Thanks.